Well, hello, this is Naomi Tucker, and welcome to the Planet on a Post-it podcast. I am very, very excited to jump into episode 7 of the podcast, and I will be doing that with my daughter this week, Samara. We are talking about bringing your children into your workplace, and I just can't imagine a better guest to do that besides my daughter. So I'm really looking forward to sharing our conversation with you and talk a little bit about bringing your children in your workplace, the things that you can do to do that as an event planner, and some of the areas in which your child would like to hear a little bit more about what you do. I think that's certainly important. Before we go ahead and jump in, I wanted to give you a few reminders. We want to be able to give you the content you need at the time that you need it and how you need it. So definitely would encourage you to like this podcast on whatever platform you're on, whether it's Spotify or Google Play or, iTunes, whatever platform you're on, we're bound to be there. So make sure that you like it. Make sure you rate us. We would love to hear how we're doing by you rating us. Additionally, we want to be able to let you know that Facebook and Twitter are also really good platforms to get content. So if you haven't followed us on those platforms, please do. And finally, the blog. If you haven't been at the blog, please go there. There's a wealth of information, blog post, information about book club. There's even freebies on there. And there's more that is soon to come. So if you haven't bookmarked the website, definitely do that. It's planetonapostit.com. So I believe that's all of the areas where we are. I definitely love to hear from you. At any time during this episode, if you're in the Anchor app, there is a voicemail button. You can leave us a voicemail, and then maybe we'll play it back on a future episode. That would be lovely. Also, engage with us on any of our social media. We love to hear from you. So I believe that's it. Oh, one quick reminder is about book club. Our book club was slated to be for November 20th, but we have shifted that date, and it will be Wednesday, November 27th. I know it's the day before Thanksgiving, but hopefully things have slowed down enough from work so that you're able to actually participate in this book club. So Wednesday the 27th, we'll still do it at the same time, 8 p.m. on Facebook Live. So we've shifted that a bit. So make sure to earmark that time frame and date. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and jump into our discussion. We're happy that you're here and really look forward to your feedback on this episode. So talk soon. So I am here with Samara. Samara is my daughter, and as we get into episode 7 of the podcast, I wanted to introduce you to her a little bit. Say hi to everyone, Samara.
Hi.
So this episode is going to be about bringing your children into your world. And again, it's very special, not only because I have Samara here with me, but I do think that our children hold a special place. They are a witness to our work. They see how we feel when we come home from work, or they see when we come back from a program how tired we are. And they have a different perspective about our work than what we do. So I really wanted this to be a podcast to be able to kind of get into the mind of a child or a young lady to be able to see what they think about our work, and then also be able to see what our steps are moving forward to really try to bring our children into our work a little bit more. So before we get started, I wanted you to be able to hear from Samara on a little bit about her. So Samara, don't be shy. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Samara. I'm 11 years old. I've played the violin since I was 5, and my favorite candy is Skittles, and I really like to read in my free time. The book I'm reading right now is The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. I'm on the book called Author's Odyssey, and I enjoy writing in my diary.
So I will tell you that this young lady loves to read. Every time I'm trying to find her in the house, she's probably curled up on a chair reading somewhere in a little nook in the house. So she really loves to get lost in a really good book. So I really enjoy that about her, but sometimes I know it kind of prevents her too from doing other things.
Like my homework.
Like your homework or practicing for your violin or something, but it's all good. So I wanted to ask you, Samara, you probably know a little bit about me and what I do for a living, being an account director and for an event planning company and doing everything as it relates to events. What do you think that I do?
I think that you plan important meetings and attend different programs around the world. And I understand that sometimes it can be stressful, and you help a lot of people with their problems, and you take calls.
And I think it's interesting that Samara says she takes calls. Well, I take calls because sometimes when she's staying home from school, or if she has a no school day, I'm on a lot of phone calls during the day. So sometimes I'm on back-to-back phone calls. I think many of you can really kind of relate to that from in the morning until the afternoon. Sometimes you have back-to-back phone calls and you don't have time for anything. So when she says I have lots of calls, I'm pretty sure she's referring to that, right?
Yeah.
Right. So those are really cool observations. Planning events, they say that planning events can be relative to being a firefighter or being a police officer. And some people really don't think of it like that. I mean, we really do have stressful jobs, not only in planning the events, but also if you're in a management or leadership position too. Those positions can be very stressful. So it's interesting that that Samara here observes that stress. So what is there anything that you observed about what I do that you would enjoy doing?
Well, I would like to travel the world and go see new places and go on tours and stuff. And I like going on adventures and staying in a hotel with a swimming pool. Sounds really fun.
Yeah, those swimming pools, they're in every single property almost. And, those are certain things that as event planners, we do get a chance to participate in, which is going to certain destinations or, visiting a place that we pretty much never visited before. So some of those enjoyable things about what we do, even though we do go through stress, are going and traveling the world. And it sounds really fun, but I must say I do miss my kiddos while I'm out there working. So what about the tough things? What do you feel are some of the tough things that I do that you've observed?
Well, like I said before, you take a lot of calls and you answer lots and lots of emails a day. And sometimes it seems super stressful managing a lot of people at a time. And when I call from home, you always seem exhausted.
Oh, like when you call me when I'm traveling?
Yeah. Like you'll be in a hotel room or something and we call from home and you always seem exhausted.
Which I am. I probably am very, very tired. But that's what you think is hard, huh?
Yeah.
And that's true. There are a lot of different hard situations that in event planning that we have to deal with. And for example, sometimes when we're working on programs, if you have an early morning breakfast that's at 6:30, you have to be up before the breakfast even starts. So you're up pretty early in the morning before the sun rises. And if you have a late reception, you pretty much are, up late until that reception is over or that dinner is over. So it is, especially when you're on site, early mornings, late nights. And of course, when I'm doing my job at home, it's very, stressful, like you mentioned, with different phone calls back to back and just managing different problems that may arise through the day. Do you know about any problem that maybe you've observed that I've worked through?
Well, when you're on a call or something and we're being like annoying, you tell us to go watch TV.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes on top of not only the stress of the call, if they are at home, like home from school or something, and I have to make sure that they're taken care of at home. Sometimes I'm on a call and they try to catch me when I'm on mute and ask me, Mom, can I do this? Can I do that? Or, and I have to say, guys, please, I'm on a call. Go watch TV or something. And I'm not the mom that wants to always kind of say, go watch TV, but sometimes TV just works, right?
Yeah, it does.
It works. So awesome. So I just wanted to ask, now that I've asked you some questions about what I do, what are some questions that you might have for me?
Were there any funny moments that you had on the site?
There's a lot of funny moments. I really enjoy the teams that I work with, and sometimes when we're on site, we have an opportunity to have dinner with each other and just, get to know each other a bit. And I just tell you, we've had some times where we're just belly laughing over just funny stories. So those are fun. I always break a shoe when I go on site. Yeah, so it never fails. I don't know what it is, but I'm always like breaking a shoe. I guess that's just my thing. I always have to either buy a new pair of shoes when I get home or buy something when I'm out and about. But with all the steps that we're walking and things like that, sometimes I just go through my shoes.
Okay, are there any souvenirs that you really like?
Well, yes, I enjoy bringing back snow globes from the all the places that I have traveled, but pretty much I bring those back for my girls. So those are things that I hope that they enjoy. Do you like those snow globes?
Yeah, I keep them in a box.
So she keeps them in a box, or someone else has them displayed. But yeah, those are fun things that I like to do. And you'll be amazed at the areas that do not have snow globes in the world. But I really try to hunt them down. And sometimes some of my team members know that I do this and they help me as well. Also, some souvenirs that I brought back is the paprika from Budapest. I love Budapest. It was one of my favorite places. So I brought back a lot of paprika, and it just reminds me of just Budapest. And the honey from Hawaii. It's just a lavender infused honey from Hawaii that was just like amazing. So every time I go to Hawaii, I have to make sure that I bring that back. So those are some of the fun things that I've brought back from a trip.
Speaking of fun places that you've gone, what trip do you like the best?
That's a good one. I think I really have had to put that I really like the Hawaii. I love the incentive program that I've done at the Big Island, Hawaii. That ends up being like my favorite location to be. It's just such a laid-back island. We stayed at the Grand Wailea Hotel, which was an amazing hotel, excellent service, and it was just a wealth of things for everyone to do. ATV tours, different canoe rides, the crater. It was just really great. So I enjoyed the Big Island in Hawaii. So that was my favorite.
Nice.
What?
I said nice. That's it.
Awesome. Well, Samara, do you have any other questions for me and about my work and what I do?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So what do you feel parents should do if they want to bring, as parents that work in event planning, what do you feel that they should do if they would like to bring their children into your world? Like, what would you as a young lady would like to learn, and how would you like to be brought into your parents' work what advice do you have for other parents that are event planners?
Well, if you travel a lot, I would say, like, try to get some information, like the history of that place that you've been, and share it with your kids, because it's always fun to see, like, what other places, like, history is. Mm-hmm. And I guess talk to them about what you do, because it's nice to see, like, what you're doing. So, like, I know what you're doing, and if anybody asks, I'll be like, yeah, my mom's an event planner.
Yeah, so you can really explain what everyone does. So, well, those are two great pieces of advice. Any other advice for parents that are in the event planning industry?
I like souvenirs.
So you think that parents should bring their kids back souvenirs from the places they go to?
Yeah, like, it doesn't always have to be, like, long-term, like a snow globe. Like, sometimes, like, a little trail mix is nice to see, like, what their culture is.
Mm-hmm. So that's wonderful. So I think you've heard it from Samara. Definitely talk to your child about what you do and how you do it. Bring them back souvenirs if you can from the places that you visited, and try to integrate that learning into the souvenirs. Talk to them about the culture that they have to do as well. So those are some really great pieces of advice. Samara, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I really hope that you enjoyed this episode about bringing children into your work. I also must say that Samara has helped me with some rooming lists when I had to cross-reference and cross-check rooming lists. There are other things that you can do in order to bring your child into what you do, and just to help start them off and give them a glimpse of event planning. I know back in the day, we used to have... and we still do, kids are able to come to your place of work. But as we transition into more of a virtual workspace, and a lot of event planners, they're working from home, things like that, it's still important to bring your child into what you do, and have them get a piece of that a little bit, especially if you would like for your event planning to be more of a generational kind of privilege for them. So definitely get them involved, talk to them about it, let them do little things. If you're in a particular position where as they get older, they can help out on site at an event, those are definitely things that you can do to be able to bring them into your world a bit more too. So any final thoughts, Samara?
No, I think I'm fine.
You think you're fine?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you enjoy our conversation today?
Yes, I did.
Well, perfect. I enjoyed having you. Thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me today.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So again, everyone, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you coming, and I hope you enjoyed our little chat. So there you have it. I really hope that you enjoyed that. As much as I did, I enjoyed speaking with my daughter about event planning, and she enjoyed it too. And I just really want to thank her. Thank you again, Samara, for coming on the podcast and talking with us. And I really appreciate your willingness to share, despite probably any nervousness that you might have had. Very excited. And maybe if you guys liked it, we'll bring her on for another episode a little bit later. So I just want to end by giving you a couple more reminders. Again, just make sure that you're liking and subscribing. We really would love that. Additionally, if you have picked up the copy of Reboot by Jerry Colonna, that is the book that we'll be discussing on November 27th. It's a really great book. It's about the art of growing up and the art of leadership. And Jerry has a really unique spin on leadership. He's been called the CEO whisperer, and he really comes at leadership from a different angle. He likes to delve deep into, your past, and really see what the basis of leadership is based off of some of the experiences you had in the past. And sometimes going back in the past can be a little bit scary for some folks, and sometimes people enjoy to do that, but it definitely is well worth the journey. So if you have picked up the book, I look forward to seeing you November 27th. If you haven't, you can still pick up a copy of the audio and be there for the discussion on the 27th. But wanted to basically give you that book name, which is Jerry Colonna, and it's called Reboot. So again, thank you so much for joining. We really, really appreciate you spending time with us today, and we look forward to having you on another episode of the Planet Unposted podcast in the future. Cheers.